My name's Amata, and in this Red Gaming Tech video, I am here with a roundup of everything important from the PlayStation Paris Games Week press conference. Now, many of us, including myself, didn't really expect anything all that important from this. I honestly didn't expect to be doing a video on it, but we had a fair few trailers released and a bunch of new information, and if rumours are correct, this actually means we'll get less announcements in the PlayStation Experience press conference this December, as rumours are currently saying that the major announcements were actually pushed from the PlayStation Experience to Paris Games Week. If I had to guess why they do that, well, it has a name, and it's called the Xbox One X. Now, Sony are probably planning a price cut or something like that of the PS4 Pro. I would be shocked if they aren't, but they also have to kind of be in the hype, in the buzz, as it were, and obviously one good way to do that is to be like, hey, look at all these awesome games we have coming out that you can't get on any other system or are timed exclusives to our system. So, with all that said, let's go on, shall we, to the first bit of news. So the first things I want to tackle were actually from the pre-show announcements. And the first one was actually one I think is going to go down really, really well. It's Guacamelee 2. And Guacamelee was, of course, a hugely popular indie game, and for good cause. And Guacamelee was, of course, the rather interesting looking, rather festive looking, as it were, 2D action platformer thing with some really satisfying combat. So I'm really happy that Guacamelee is getting another one. I really enjoyed the first one. But let's move on to the Hong Kong Massacre, which is 2018. Oh, by the way, just so we're clear, there's no release date yet for Guacamelee 2. However, the Hong Kong Massacre, on the other hand, looks like a sort of top-down action thing with a sort of Hong Kong movie vibe. You know, a bit of Hotline Miami thrown in there for good measure, with the sort of perspective and that sort of thing. I mean, it looks exactly like my type of thing, to be honest with you, because I'm a giant stereotype. But, yeah, it looks good. And it doesn't really interest me, but I'm sure it interests a lot of you. The Sims 4, PS4 4 expansions will be coming with the game, which is all the free updates for the PC version. And any future PC updates will also be coming to the console version as well. And this is coming out on November 17th, you know, continuing to pack out a very packed couple of months. We've already had a crazy busy few weeks, and it doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. There was an absolute ton of announcements for the PlayStation VR, including just a few highlights: Ultra Wings VR, Sprint Vector, Moss, Star Child, Resident Evil 7, Dead Hungry, League of War VR Arena, and of course Final Fantasy 15 Monster of the Deep. And we also have a release date for Final Fantasy 15 Episode Ignis as well, moving on from the PlayStation VR stuff. This is going to be December the 13th. However, moving on to another indie hit, which is definitely going to set tongues waggling and hype a-going, is Spelunky 2. Sadly, no real information other than the fact that, yeah, it's coming to PS4 at some point, guys, honest. I mean, it's probably coming to other platforms as well, but it's on the PS4 too. Yay! Now, that's all pre-show stuff. That was all like, hey, here's a bunch of indie games and stuff like that. The real sort of heavy-hitting reveals came during the main show, unsurprisingly. And the first one was Ghost of Tsushima, which seems to be some sort of samurai game. It showed absolutely no gameplay at all, but given that it's being made by Infamous, the bunch of guys responsible for Infamous, there we go, got my horse ahead of the cart a little bit there. It's probably going to be a third-person action game, and to be honest, that sounds fine. I'm cool with that. The trailer looks really, really cool in terms of graphics, very dramatic, but no real information shown other than, hey, here's the setting, and here's what the graphics look like. Zero gameplay, sadly. However, it's there, it's coming out, and no release date so far. Now, earlier on I said that they had a ton of stuff for VR. Well, there was basically an announcement from Jim Ryan that basically says that there's 225 games with enhancements for the PS4 Pro, and over 100 games compatible with PSVR. Just to give you a little bit of a picture of how much they're trying to push both the Pro and the VR. So, you know, more games are better. Obviously, that increases the inherent value, assuming the games are actually any good and whether or not they actually make any use out of the VR, or if they're just, hey, we're on VR because reasons. But of course, the more games you have, high chances that one of them is actually going to be good. Oh wait, that's how it works, right? regardless, they are going hard on supporting both of those, and it's hardly surprising. So, the next big announcement was, to be honest, something that put me a bit to sleep, as A, it's a PSVR game, and B, it's like shooty, sneaky, gangster thing, except it's set in London, and of course the main character has a Cockney accent because, you know, naturally. I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game, I'm sure it'll be fun, it's just not really, you know, tantalising to me at least, but, you know, that's very subjective, I guess is the word I'm looking for there, but, you know, it is there. I kind of wish it was, like, not on PSVR, but it is what it is. However, they moved on to more comfortable ground after that one, with Spider-Man, of course, more gameplay, a cinematic trailer actually, should I say. Still no firm release date, just 2018, same for Detroit Become Human, still spring 2018, and pretty much what you'd expect from A, this game, and B, a David Cage game, lots of emotion and very well done faces. But other than that, we don't really know anything new, including the release date as already said. However, God of War, some more look at the combat and how the young boy actually does help out in the combat, as Sony have been very keen to stress, because, you know, a lot of people have been saying, oh, I don't want the game to be one giant fetch quest, and to be fair, that's a fair concern. I don't want that out of my God of War game either, or any game, to be honest with you. So the fact that he's actually helpful is definitely appreciated, but whether or not he's annoying, well, that remains to be seen. We also saw some new footage for the Shadow of the Colossus remake. It looks like Shadow of the Colossus, absolutely gorgeous. And of course, nicely updated as well. I will admit I'm very tempted to buy this game again, because, well, it's Shadow of the Colossus, and it's a great game. So, yeah, I'm sold. Count me in, assuming it doesn't come out alongside 60 billion other games. However, they left the best till last, with The Last of Us Part 2. Sadly, no gameplay still. Was really hoping for some gameplay on this one, but it is still teaser, still cutscene, but definitely gives you an idea of how things are continuing to be dark and depressing and oh so grim, and pretty much what you'd expect. Absolutely stunning graphics. Again, very like grim, despair, manly, dark, gritty, etc. But that's, you know, that's kind of what we want from The Last of Us Part 2. It'd be a bit weird if the sequel was all happiness and rainbows. I'm like, yeah, there's unicorns now for some reason. No sign of any of the cast, but this gives us a little look-see at a enemy faction, as there's a woman trying to hang someone, and another woman turns up, and the original woman says something about where is the other apostate, and tells one of her henchmen to clip her wings, and she doesn't tell her what she wants. So definitely some kind of religious fanatic thing going on. I mean, obviously it could just be the Fireflies again, but I would doubt that very much, just from what we saw. But it does look very, very cool. Despite me poking fun slightly, I am really looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us was a seriously, seriously good game. Definitely a game of that year. So I am pretty hyped to be seeing more, even if we didn't get any gameplay. So overall, a pretty strong showing, and arguably better than the one they had at E3. I enjoyed the one they had at E3, but they had pretty much what they had at E3 with Shadow of the Colossus and Horizon Zero Dawn and a bunch of other stuff, but they also had stuff we didn't see, like, hey, here's more Last of Us, that sort of thing. So definitely a strong showing from Sony. Unfortunately, no real announcements of like, hey, here's when this game is coming out. But they pretty much achieved what I think was they were after, to keep the hype machine going and keep the PS4 and PS4 Pro in the conversation when, of course, we are rapidly approaching the Xbox One X release date. And in case you are wondering, we do have one on pre-order, so we will be doing an unboxing review, that sort of thing as well. So keep your eyes peeled, guys, for what happens in the battle between Microsoft and Sony. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.